Hello and welcome to part 2 of Activate Fundraising's successful fundraising video series. In this film, we'll look at what you need to do to find your donors. The second most common question I'm asked by nonprofits that I work with is where can we find donors and what can we do to find them? So, first off, it's worth considering how many prospects you actually need. How much money do you need to raise and what's it for? Now, you'll have done this as part of your strategic planning process, so you'll already have that information. Now, you also want to consider how many prospects you already have in play. And by that, I mean how many of your prospects are already donors, how many are people you've just read about in the press that you think might be interested in what you want to do, and how many are friends of your board members, for example. Now, as a rough rule of thumb, say 1 in every 3rd donor will give to you again. 1 in every 5 of friends might give to you, and 1 in every 10 of those cold prospects who don't know you might give to you. So taking all that into account, how many more do you need on your list based on how much you need to raise? Try to keep the donor cycle ticking over. You want new prospects coming in at research while others are moving on to ask and stewardship. Obviously, in a small nonprofit, there's a limit to what you can achieve. But try to always have some fresh new prospects coming into your line of sight. And perhaps this could become the responsibility of your board members if you're really small. Or maybe there's someone who deals with admin who'd be quite happy to add in a bit of prospect research to part of their role. Even half an hour a day can make a huge difference and can help you to identify new people who might be interested in your organisation. Or indeed, donors that you've forgotten about who are on your database already. Okay, you know the expression, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Well, that's as true in fundraising as it is in everything else. But if your networks are non-existent, don't panic. It's not the end of the road for you. You're just going to have to do a lot of relationship building. That said, I've yet to work with a nonprofit that has 0 networks. You already have contacts in terms of board members, staff and other volunteers. And even if your board members think they have no contacts, they usually do. Maybe rather than asking them cold to come up with suggestions, you could try circulating your prospect list to them. You know, a list of foundations with their trustees attached, and you never know, a board member just might know one of those trustees, but not having realised that they were involved with that particular foundation. And even if they don't know any of them, presenting a list can often help to kickstart their ideas about prospects that they do know and can introduce you to. The best example I have of networks and networking effectively is a conversation I had with a colleague in a former job. He didn't work in fundraising, and over lunch one day we had a bit of a chat about what I was doing. Anyway, during our chat he suggested that I speak to a friend of his, a guy he went to football with every Saturday, because his friend had personal experience of the issues that the fundraising campaign I was working on was aiming to address. Yeah, and by the way, he's quite wealthy. Anyway, long story short, that wee chat resulted in a meeting with my colleague's friend, during which I secured the lead 6-figure gift for the campaign. That was the best lunch I ever had. Moral of the story? Make sure everyone in your organisation knows about your fundraising ambitions, because you really don't know who knows who and how that's going to benefit you. Okay, moving on now. Let's get creative. Try to think out of the box about your project, and that will help you to identify more opportunities to find potential donors. Brainstorm ideas and you will uncover a few sources you hadn't considered before. Read the press, use online research resources. You could even set up Google alerts for subjects around your organisation's work. And as well as using social media to fundraise, you can use it for research. LinkedIn Premium might be a worthwhile investment that you can use to see who your board members are connected to and who those contacts are connected to. These are just a few ideas about how to kickstart your prospect research and uncover some real gems. Rather than going for the tried and tested, the people everyone is chasing for money, or worse still, donors that don't fit with what you're trying to do and will never give to you in a million years. So, how about you hop on over to activatefundraising.com/blog and read my posts on prospect research, fundraising, and a whole lot more. And look out for the next in the Successful Fundraising video series, which will deal with how to successfully fundraise when you have no resources. Can it be done? Email me any questions on this subject at heather@activatefundraising.com.